Hello everyone, I hope you all are doing just great out there. This is MCOM 202 sub-editing, and today we'll talk about captions and text and how you caption your pictures. Basically, in the newspaper you see there are a lot of pictures and they are properly captioned. So today we'll talk about captions. So I'm going to share my PowerPoint presentation with you, and I hope you all are seeing this PowerPoint presentation on your screens. So let's start today's lecture. Give me a minute that I start my PowerPoint presentation. So here it is. So we'll talk about captions, caption text, and pictures. So you should know that in news business, if you are publishing in a newspaper and you are publishing pictures, so every picture, every photograph needs a caption. Never ever publish a picture without some identification, some kind of caption, even if it is just one line showing a person's name, but there should be some kind of caption. You should not assume that your readers will recognize a face because the person is very famous. He's probably top-notch politician of the country, but still, even if he or she is the president or the prime minister of your country, you should properly caption that picture. And always try to give that most photographs in publication involves people. So you must identify all the people in the image. So this may be an incentive for limiting the number of people in the picture, but that is cropping and then expanding the images. We'll talk about it in a later part, but at least you should give the name of important people. Let's say you have a group photo, you cannot name everybody in that group photo, but you should write the important names of that photo. So the first thing first, get all the facts. And how do we write effective captions? First, make sure that you have all the facts. The best image in the world still needs a caption. You need to understand this. Even the most creative caption writers need accurate information with which they need to perform. Again, as a photographer, you'll always supply background details such as name, age, and locations, and what is happening. But you cannot always be certain that this information is correct, because whatever you have been provided by your photographer, uh, probably he has missed something. You need to recheck it. So how we are going to deal with that? Uh, how properly briefed photographs are. Two ways to improve your chances are to make sure that photographs are properly briefed and give them a fact sheet. In the first case, have the assigning editor or the chief of the staff tell the photographer why they want any particular photo and the kinds of ways they might be used. So if you are not sure, tell them to get horizontal or vertical shots and to limit the number of people in the picture. Because if you get a group photo, probably you won't be knowing everyone, or probably your photographer will not be knowing everyone. So if your publication likes to make money by selling news photographs, then you will need to make arrangements for the photographs to take extra non-news shoots as well, non-news shots as well. Because nowadays we are using digital cameras and we have those cameras in our mobile phones, so this should not be a problem, because cost of the peripheral like film and paper are no longer an issue. You can take as many pictures as you want, and even you can sell those pictures as well. So properly briefed photographs. So in the second case, insist photographers complete a fact sheet for each assignment. Let's say if you have sent someone to take photograph of a press conference, ask them to fill in the fact sheet. We'll look into the fact sheet in a brief moment of time. So this will probably involve negotiating between the sub-stable and the person in charge of photographers, but it is a worthwhile investment of effort. So get photographers to attach this form to the back of the print, or if they are using digital cameras, they can separately fill in the form and send it to you. So this is very much important. So this picture, if you can see, this is very important. In this picture, you can see Benazir is standing right next to his father, Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, when he was admitted in the hospital. So this should be described in this picture. This is a historical picture and it has a story behind it. So every picture has a story. So photo data sheet is very much important. Have the form available electronically if the photographer store digital pictures on a server or on a hard drive. So the form lists all the relevant information for the photographs. If you use paper, have form printed in your pocket or handbag size so that photographers can use them. So let's see this picture. This picture has a whole lot story, so it needs to be told through the captions. So this is kind of the photo data sheet. This is a sample. You can create your own date on which photo has been taken, picture details, what is happening in the picture, contact person at the venue, phone numbers, photographer's number, photographer's name, photographer's phone numbers, publication and date of delivery, etc., etc. You can make as detailed as you want, but this is a simple kind of photo data sheet. uh, Different scenarios for the captions. If a reporter accompanies the photographer, get the reporters to write the caption after discussing with the chief of staff or the news editor the kinds of pictures that are likely to be used. So if photographers and reporters are working together, that means reporters are writing the caption. Often the reporter's caption can be used as it is written. If it is not, it serves an excellent cross-check for the editor against errors in the photographer's detail. So if your publication sends photographers out alone, an increasing trend, especially at regional dailies or community newspapers, then the sub will be forced to write the caption based on the data that photographer has supplied. That data could be given verbally as well, and that could be through the photograph data sheet as well. So given that photographers' talent lie in the area of visual communication and not necessarily editorial content, this can generate awkward scenarios. Sometimes because photographers are not trained sub-editors. So that means they can write whole awful kind of captions. So captions comes in three main forms. They can be a simple label for a picture, such as a mugshot, a slightly longer block of text that relate to a larger picture, which is usually associated with the story, and a self-contained contained story, sometimes known as a picture story or standalone caption, where the caption is the story. So let's look at each type of them. uh, a label. This almost always applies to a single column picture. So just like that, you have seen on your computer screen. So the picture is usually used to illustrate a story in the minor ways, such as a mugshot dropped into a column of text. How much you write will depend on the width of the picture and how many lines you are allowed to work with. So if you can see here, there are several mug shots and we have very limited space below them. So in many cases, you only have one line. In these situations, the caption usually consists of the name plus a title, what the person has done or said, if you have the space. Otherwise, label will only deal with names. For example, Arthur Brown, Lotto winner. There's only a name of a person and what he has achieved. Or Arthur Brown, winner of yesterday's 3 million Lotto draw. It's a quite lengthy line. Or there is another example, Arthur Brown, I badly needed the money, was his only comment after winning 3 million in yesterday's Lotto draw. So it all depends at what kind of picture you have. So if you have a mugshot of Arthur Brown, you will only write Arthur Brown, Lotto winner. Lotto is the common term used for the lottery. Or if you have a slightly bigger picture or an action picture, Arthur Brown, winner of the yesterday's 3 million lotto draw. Or if you have a bigger picture and he has won a lot of money, so then you can write in detail, but mostly in most of the cases, it will be Arthur Brown, lotto winner. Caption, a caption that explains the significance of the picture. In many publications, perhaps because of the race against the clock, the caption repeats part of the story that accompanies the picture. So most of the detail is already available in the story, but it repeats in the picture. It often consists of a title of obvious plus extra information. So this type of caption should contain all the points the reader needs to know. That is, it must make sense on its own, and the reader should not need to read the accompanying story. So usually caption gives the whole story. Um, uh, Here we are talking about the good old who, what, when, where, and how, and why. And you have read all these in 101 as well and in 201 as well. So because many readers look at the picture before reading the story. So in some cases, they move on after looking at the picture and reading the caption. So most of the time when there is a picture and there is a caption, people usually do not read a story, or if they find it interesting, they go to the story after seeing the picture or after reading the caption. So you may get a burst of inspiration that will bring the picture and the caption to life, or you may have to write it straight. So either way, you need good information. So that means when you receive a picture and you are asked to write a caption, you need information. So let us say you are asked to provide a caption for a picture of a girl, age 10, playing in her first rugby match. So what would be the caption? There are a million ways to write this caption. So you can experiment with your caption writing skills. So there is example, uh, Toby Quinn, 10, makes her rugby debut. There's one example, but you can experiment with your own example. That is a straight. This is called a straight example. Toby Quinn, 10, age 10. So we will not write age 10 because in sub-editing style, usually it is considered that she's 10 years old. So makes her rugby debut. The bright idea is Toby Quinn shows she is a match for boys her own age in a rugby trial for Winchelsea under 11s at Arthur's Delay Memorial Oval yesterday. So it is kind of a story. So that is kind of a bright idea. So self-contained story, a caption that has a self-contained story. So it should be written like a news story with the news angle tilted towards the picture. So in this type of caption, it is often necessary to include words like above or above left or indicate where in the picture you can find the person or thing being read about. So that is called the self-contained story. So you can actually write a self-contained story for this picture where there are two journalists. They are speaking to Maulana Fazlur Rahman, who is very famous politician of Pakistan. So there are some golden rules. Um, Number one rule is be interesting. I know it is difficult, but you need to be interesting. Captions are some of the most read parts of the newspaper, and studies of how people approach publication shows that they look first at major images and display headlines. In the case of pictures, the reader's eye moves through the image to the base looking for the caption. Always, you have probably noticed that whenever you see a picture in a newspaper, you always look for a caption, that what this picture is all about. So because readers gravitate towards caption after then moving on, after looking at the picture and reading captions and headlines, some should consider caption writing an important part of their job. And this is aim to make caption as interesting as possible. So even the dullest picture can be made relatively interesting by intelligent cropping and bright captions. Be creative. Um, People can see the picture for themselves, respect their common sense and intelligence, and avoid boring them by recounting the facts they can actually see or they can read in the story. Resist the temptation to copy and paste from the body of the story. You should not copy captions from the body of the story. Um, this is do not tell the readers what is in the picture, but give them something else that is beyond the image. Nothing is more boring than Joe Blogs 70 at the wheel of his new car. This is boring. Why not say 250,000 may be a lot for a pensioner to pay for a way to get to church on Sundays, but Joe Blogs seems happy with his new Ferrari. So this is more interesting if you compare these two. The above caption is boring. Joe Blogs 70 at the wheel of his new car. Why not say 250,000, maybe a lot for a pensioner to pay for a way to get to church on Sundays, but Joe Blogg seems happy with his new Ferrari. So get the picture. Caption writing provides a chance to be creative. You should be creative, and your captions should not be dull. Beware of visual cliches. Boring photographs, which are essentially visual cliches, tend to come in one of three forms. Images where nothing is happening, but you have to make it seem interesting, such as buildings. The check or prize presentation, what some commentator call the grip and grin. The large group, a board of directors, or a group of politicians. These are called dead pictures, and you have to make them creative. So you should go beyond the visuals. Remember this picture. Um, Again, in this jargon of TV news writing, write off by adding something beyond what is in the picture. So this picture has a whole story. This picture of Nawaz Sharif has a whole story. So any no-I sub editor can write Nawaz Sharif behind the bars, something like that, or Nawaz Sharif in Atak jail. But you should go beyond what is in the picture. Find something related to the picture. As a general rule, avoid the obvious line. Obviously, everybody will write the same line, that Nawaz Sharif behind the bar. Identify everyone in the picture. Make sure that you identify everyone. You write their names, at least important people, and avoid phrases like clockwise from 11 o'clock, or apart from the chairman who is partly obscured at 3 o'clock, etc., etc. You just name them. You should not be bothering in which direction they are seated or they are sitting. There are some general rules. Um, use a different way to the differentiate caption text from the body copy, and perhaps even different font. So always caption fonts are different, their weight is different, their size is different, and sometimes they are italic as well. And sometimes they are bold as well. Bold caption should be used half or 1 point smaller than Roman type. So that is, if your body text is 9 point times Roman, set your caption 8.5 times bold. If your body text size is 8.5 Nimrod or some other Kilbury, let's say, you might choose to use 8 point Helvetica bold for your captions. So similarly, you can use many kind of techniques. So if you have a very wide picture, more than 2/3 of your page width, break your captions into 2 or maybe 3 columns, especially if the caption runs to more than 3 or 4 lines. Otherwise, it is just too difficult to read over a wide mirror. Avoid small type of reverse, white type on black background. Captions and headlines for pictures, anything under 14 point is too small. If you are combining a story with the picture, put the headline between the photo and caption. Small heads get lost if you place them above the picture. So this is especially the case if they are in reverse order. There are some tips uh, by Anne Glover. Anne Glover, St. Petersburg's Times. She's very famous and experienced editor. She suggests that when you join a newspaper, find out how the subdesk approaches captions. Here are some things to look for. She says present or past tense. Some newspaper insist on present tense always, while some insist on the past tense. Other takes a less rigid approach and let sub-editor decide what suits the best photo best. Should the caption repeat all the facts in the story? Again, not, but you should answer 5 Ws and 1 H in the caption. Then if you are looking for more, you do not want to repeat everything that has come before. In the nutshell, make sure that you see the original picture. If it is a print, get a photocopy if you are nearing the deadline, in case the original print needs to be taken away to be processed. If your newsroom uses digital images, make sure you see the picture in the system. So because without seeing a picture, you should not be writing the caption. Check and double check all the details, names, order of the people in the picture, ages, location, date, and events. And take extra care with facts as well. If defamation occurs because of a picture, it is usually because of the caption. It is not because of the picture, because pictures are real while captions are written by you. So if you face a defamation suit, that will be definitely on your caption. So check page specification to see how much space you have for the caption. You need to write, make sure you have enough space to do the job properly. So captions are like intros. You know what intro is. So this should give you a good starting point for your first sentence. As with all introduction, aim to get the important or keywords into opening phrase of the first sentence. So, so is there a chance for a play on words? This is acceptable with some caption, though it depends on the tone of the image and related story. So obviously you do not want to use a pun in a photograph of two police officers who have been shot dead. Remember, in the parlance of writing for TV, to write off, give the reader something more than what is in the picture, because they can see the picture, give them something that is beyond that picture. So this means you need to do some research to find out there's something extra about that picture. So captions are a chance to exercise your creativity while you cannot show creativity in your story. So we'll do as an assignment, which is related, which I will going to upload in this week. So what you have to do, cut out 15 photographs from different newspapers with captions with enough details to write your own version. So you do not need to cut them, but you can download those pictures from the newspaper, or you can crop them in your computer and put them on a Word file, and then write your own captions um, your, for those pictures. So that's it, guys. Thank you very much. Take care of yourself. Stay safe. Bye bye. Allah Hafiz.